Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I apologize in advance for the slightly loud background noise, but today we're going to be doing a build of the T-10 water toy gun by QYM3D on MakerWorld. This comes in the form of a Maker Supply kit. The water squirter 01. The electric water spray kit 01. So this is what we're going to be building today. So I'm going to go to the MakerWorld page, as you should also, for the instructions. So if you have been well prepared, you should now have all the printed parts, which include, I assume this is the front, this is the front shell part. This is, I believe, the back shell part. This is the, this is the magwell. Should also have the magazine itself, which should have been printed with more walls to avoid leakage. You also have the, I think this is the stock point, kind of, almost. You have the main handle grip. You have the door, which I will process later. You also have the, I think this is the trigger. You will also have another door. You'll have the magazine water cover, entry port cover. You'll have the magazine release. You'll have this, I believe, is the sidewalls for the main enclosure. So let's begin this build. We're gonna start with the assembly video, which is actually available on YouTube. So let's watch that as we go. I will stop the video periodically so that you guys can follow along. I will try my best to show it. Yeah, good enough. Best we'll get. But let me actually just watch this on my browser so that we have a ad blocker. I will turn on the volume for the video. Okay, actually that won't be helpful, so let's turn it off. Okay, we're gonna begin. And I believe this kit did not come with the tube. So if you look back on the MakerWorld page, yes, they did tell us to buy some tubing, so that wasn't included. Okay, we're gonna see. He cuts one length of tubing. Okay, so let's begin. So we're gonna take our tubing out of the package, which I will use a, let's see, we have a knife here. We'll use that. Later I will have to grab my electric screwdriver kit, as that will be a main thing we're going to be using. So now we have our silicone tubing. However, for now we're just going to need a little bit. So I forgot to mention another part that you should have printed was also the tube guide. So I'm going to insert it all the way into the cover guide. I'm then going to take my knife and I'm going to plunge it into there, which will chop the tube. The rest of the tube I will now put back in the packaging to save for later or maybe perhaps future projects. Note that you must use the silicone tubing that is recommended on the MakerWorld page. PTFE will not work as it is way too hard. Silicone is going to be soft and rubbery. Let's continue. Okay, but also we saw there that we need to insert that screw. So let me go get my electric screwdriver. That'll be a second. I am back. I thank you for your patience, and we're going to continue with this build. I also brought my deburring tool just in case. So if we go back a little bit, so we cut the tube, but we're also going to have the main, this is the magwell. So actually let's remove the supports here. Be very careful to not remove things that are not support, as that will result in having to reprint your entire part. So I'm going to be very gentle here. Being careful not to break support. Well, things that supports that aren't actually supports. So that's happened before. I had to makeshift fix it, or I just had to reprint the part. which let's hope we don't, because these are pretty bulky parts in terms of filament usage. So you see those mouse ears. Oh, that's not good, I scratched a part. Okay, and then to clean it up, I will use this deburring tool that I bought, as that will do a much better job than a knife. So I do recommend everyone who's watching this to buy a deburring tool, because it is a really good tool to have in your shop and will definitely prevent any safety issues resulting from using a knife. Is it? Which direction was it? Well, I guess you could do both directions. Okay. We're gonna clean it up a little bit more. Doesn't have to be too clean though, because let's just fold it up. Just something simple. Okay, there we go. That's good enough. We're going to insert I believe this is the magazine release, so you're gonna find the longer paddle thing. Be very careful to insert it the right way. How does this work? Okay, so it inserts from the top. Make sure to compress the spring properly. And if I lock it into place, careful not to force it, I should be able to press and the spring will launch it back. Now make sure that you bought the right screws for this. We're going to be using on Bamboo Lab's website, it's the AA088s, which are otherwise known as the M3x16 FHCS machine screws. For this, you're going to be using a 1.5 millimeter hex wrench, or in this case, 2 millimeter, my bad. Yep, that's a perfect fit. So we're going to be using a 2 millimeter hex wrench or a electric screwdriver bit in this case. So we're going to make sure you line it up just like the video. Make sure I line up the holes, otherwise it's not going to work. And make sure you screw it very slowly and you screw it straight. And the electric screwdriver will be a lot faster, and we'll make sure that you do not over torque the screw. After the electric screwdriver bottoms up, I'm going to give it an extra turn or two, but make sure you don't do it too much as not to burn out the screw. Now look at the magazine release. That successfully works. Let's continue. And we're going to insert the tubing we just cut into the main body, the bigger main body segment. Okay, so you're going to insert the tubing into the hole. And tolerances are really important for this build, which is why I did use Bamboo PETG HF completely for this build, because I wanted to eliminate any possible tolerance variables. From my experience, no matter what filament you buy, Bamboo will always be the most reliable when you're using a Bamboo printer, of course, because it is engineered to work well with Bamboo printers. I will now isolate the switches for that. I will disconnect that, so that way we do have just the motor segment. We are not going to be using the electric pump for this build, so you can go put that away now. This is the 01 kit. So yes, it does come with the automatic draw, but QYM said you're not supposed to use it for this build. We're going to pull out the tubing from the track a little bit, just so we can insert it all the way completely into the pump here. Dropping parts. Make sure that you insert it really well, as your water blaster will leak if you do not insert it well. I'm going to insert it as far as I can. There we go. Now I assume you're going to put that nozzle in there first, and then you're going to seat the rest of the blaster into the according holes, ensuring that you don't force anything so that it all fits nicely. There we go. Let's continue the video. I'm going to move this back aside. Okay, now installing that, we're going to pause the video They're going to be a few screws. 1, 2. Okay, we're going to stop and we're going to do what he just did. Make sure when you put on the shell, everything lines up. As with nerve blasters and also this build, you never ever want to force a part. If it doesn't willingly go, you stop and you check it out and then you try again. So yeah, generally the shell won't fit perfectly, but okay. There is a little folding notch there, so make sure that you do it on that direction. It looks good to me. So I'll make sure that, there we go. I heard some confirming clicks. I'm going to take more screws out of this pack that I've already opened, which I'll actually put on the screwdriver side. So I'm using my body to force it on right now, but it's fine. We're just going to line up the screw and drive it. Okay, so that feels a little bit rough for some reason, which means we're going to have to do a manual turning, as some of the screw posts are intended to be a bit tight. Okay, so here's the part where sometimes the electric screwdriver will have to be used manually. Unfortunately, you won't get that really nice automatic action as we did previously. However, those ones were intended to be free spin axles for the mag release, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. Yeah, we're gonna have to full manual drive these ones. I think this will be a quick build, about hopefully under half an hour. And hopefully before ABS smells from the spools I'm printing are not gonna come out until I finish this. Okay, we're gonna take another screw. We did this right, so if we do everything right, it should fit perfectly. And everything should look really nice. Actually, while we're doing this, we're actually going to start charging the battery. So we're going to take out the bigger little cardboard box. There's going to be your battery. It should be, if you bought both of the kits like I did, make sure you don't have it confused. You're going to be using the bigger one, which has 2 batteries taped together, basically. And then inside the box, you'll have the charger, but you gotta make sure the voltages are the same, or I believe will either not charge or you will burn your battery, which is really bad. So this charger says, they are USB by the way, so you're gonna need an adapter, which I've already prepared. This one says it is a 7.4 volts, which matches this battery. So I'm going to plug it in. Make sure you do it the right way. When it goes in one way, don't force it. There we go. Now I'm going to plug in the USB, which looks to be that way. There we go. It is charging. I will now put down the battery and we're going to worry about that later. Okay, let's continue the build. One other shell part wasn't too great, but I did saw that, yeah, he put in both screws. Yeah, so he did push in both screws. Note that he was using a bigger electric screwdriver because his screws were definitely not the ones from Maker World. But this is what he does recommend on his page. So you will need a hex key bit for this. Ideally, you'd have this with one of those more powerful electric screwdrivers like this one. But I don't have a bit adapter and I don't feel like using one or making one. So let's continue. Just be quick. And yeah, it's starting to become summer. It'll be very hot actually. So I'm thinking, should I turn on a fan in my videos? Because it does get very hot here. So turn on the light. I'll just take off my hoodie for now. It does get hot in the shop. Okay, continuing build. Okay, they're going to fit all the electronic components at the bottom here. So we are gonna have to remove the support for this part then. Okay, the overhangs look a little bit concerning. I think it should be fine. I did choose to use PETGHF, which is also what the original creator did, so that'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But all the electronic components are going to go in here. Wires are going to go to the back. I'm just going to open this up like that, maybe. How did he slide it in? Pretty impressive. Oh, okay, I see. So we're going to do it at angle from there. Oh, perfect. And then just slots into the spot. And then both wires should come through there. Okay, now I'm going to fit it into the main grip handle, which means I need to remove support on that too. There is some support at the bottom shoe here, which you can attach, which is used to attach the charger holder, but I actually won't be putting the charger holder in there because I won't be putting the charger in there because I don't want to. Actually, yeah, but I won't do that because that's one more thing that can get wet and short out. So there we go. And then if there's a bit of stubborn stuff, I'm just going to use a little bit of stubborn support. There we go. That looks pretty clean. I'm going to remove the big support. And note, if I do reprint this ever or make another one, I will have to add a lot more support on the bottom of the back crevice there, because boy do those overhangs look bad. They look really, really bad. Wow, I am surprised that the creator would not have requested some more support there, but I guess it is fine for now. See if I can come in with a knife and trim that. Okay, we're not gonna worry about that for now. That is a cosmetic thing. It doesn't feel rough or anything, so it should be fine. We're gonna insert the switch. How did he do it? Okay, like that. Into the trigger well. Okay. Does he show it? Okay, oh, okay. Because you will need to insert a filament as a dowel to kind of. Okay. Oh, okay. So the wires are like that. There we go. I see a hole. Let me go get a piece of filament for that. Up here. I have a little pink segment from my PLA that I'm just going to use for this purpose. And I'm very surprised that the tolerance of my printed holes are actually good enough to where I can do this perfectly, I think. Well, I have to drill it out a little bit. Okay, it doesn't look perfect. I might have to move it around. Okay, let me take a look. Let me remove the switch for now. This is the part where you need some patience and ingenuity. Okay, that looks good. It's just a switch that's not aligning. I want to make sure I put the switch in the right way. Yeah, okay, so the little tongue of the switch goes down. Let me reinsert it. And then do the wires, where do the wires go? Okay, they stay up. I have to really push that switch back into the slot. Seeing a bit resistance. There we go. Push through, and I'm going to overextend on purpose on both sides, which means I can come in with a pair of side cutters. Watch my face for debris. And there we go. There's a perfect inserted switch. Let's continue the build. Okay, now we're going to insert the trigger, which will be inserted like that. Okay, wait, hold up. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. How do we do this? So the trigger goes there, I think. And then Okay, I think that's good. Okay, let's go rewind. Okay, drop the trigger. Okay, and then, so now we're gonna slide on the front part. This shroud, yeah, let me remove the support on that though. Ooh, that was really easy. And there's a sear down there. Okay. Slides on. That feels a little bit interesting. I'm gonna do some light tapping until we get it all the way there. I probably should. There we go. Feels nice. This is starting to look pretty good. Okay, now we're going to insert the main. Well, but let's take a look. What does he do there? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna tuck in the wires towards the back. So I'm gonna have to be quite gentle by pushing the wires to fit in the back portion. Where will the battery go? That's an interesting thing. I think the battery goes in the back. Probably in the back, because that's where I see space for it. We're going to drop in the trigger portion. Okay, now, okay, I will say that feels sketchy. Okay, means I definitely will have to work around with that trigger. Okay, so I think there are screws. Okay, we're gonna also drop in the mag well while we're at it. Like, how? Like that? Is that, yeah. So we're call it like the front. Oh, okay. There we go. Perfect. Starting to smell some of the ABS, very slightly. Okay. And then we're going to clean up this back to wrong tool, and then we're going to wrap it up by screwing it together. Really hope this one works, otherwise I'll have to contact Bamboo Support and that'll be a whole thing, but I feel like since I paid like $22 for this, it better work. And if it doesn't work, I better get compensated and like a replacement, because I am not spending $22 on a piece of junk. So let's hope this one works. I'll be fine. I assume it'll work. If it doesn't work, I will put an update video about the progress of this, but let's hope it works. So this is the part where the shell has to slide on. There we go. So it all feels a little bit sketchy at times. I guess that's how it is when it's a homemade thing. Okay. So there's a screw. We're going to do one by one. Screw there. Okay. I'm going to have to make sure to insert all parts of the shell. Okay. Hold on. Something's wrong. Check it out. I see. The hole's not fully there. Okay. So I need to... There we go. The shell will auto-align. Okay, that's not good. Okay, now, there we go. I just need to drive it really aggressively in it, and the shell will close properly. Now let's hope that the trigger works perfectly. That actually feels really nice. Pretty good trigger. This will be really fun for the summer. Okay, we're going to do the back screw too. And I think, there we go. Yeah, I'm not receiving any backflow, so we're good. And I'm surprised the motor on this is actually pretty strong for what we're doing. There we go. Perfect. Okay, da-da-da. Okay, now we're gonna do these front 2 screws. Now, this build actually uses quite a few screws, surprisingly. I'm gonna make sure I put in the mag well so I don't have to redo this again. Okay, we're gonna drop it in. That's kinda hard to do. Oh no. It appears that it's not fitting because I didn't follow the instructions properly. It fit earlier, so maybe I just have to. Oh no. That's not good. Oh, there we go. Just needed a bit of persuasion, if you will. We're going to do this screw, which I believe locks that in too. Okay, I'm gonna push that in. I can see the motor's a little whining, so I'm struggling a bit. It should be fine. There you go. You can see the light kind of dimming because of all the force we're using on the screwdriver. Okay, and then also that hole. Actually, I'm pretty sure we just seal it all up, honestly. If this doesn't work, I'll just get a new kit. Honestly, if it doesn't work, should I just ask Bamboo to send me like filament? Because I don't feel like reprinting. Oh, sorry, I don't feel like disassembling it. I don't know if that's a valid reason though. Okay. Also realize that that is the water. Input. Don't know if that's supposed to be like that, so I'm gonna make sure. That's not great. Let's make sure I have a proper seal there. Honestly, I think I might have to, yeah, I might have to unscrew that actually, because I don't think that's going to work too well. Welcome to my channel where you view all the unedited fails. I'm going to have to deep-drive those. I'm going to have to drop the mag well. I'm going to make sure that the connection there is actually good. So that's where the water access point will come later. But so far this feels like a pretty solid project. QYM3D. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna pull it up all the way. Okay, but I am going to do is I'm going to remove that. Can I drop the mag well? Should be able to. There we go. I'm gonna pull up that as much as I can. There we go. That's something they don't tell you, and that's something I will tell you. That's why I love my channel, because we're actually really honest about what you actually need to do for the build. So if you do follow our videos, hopefully you won't have to go through what I just had to go through, which was a very unfortunate need to disassemble the thing we just assembled. I know how annoying that feels, and I know how much pain that is, so. Wow, that is really stubborn. It's just a really stubborn connection. honestly, this doesn't work. I don't know what I'm gonna do. This is why sometimes I feel the need for this is why assembly is sometimes really frustrating. Honestly, that's why 3D printing people charge a lot for assembly, because who wants to do this? Like, do you enjoy cramming two parts together over and over because they don't fit? Damn it. I'm afraid I'm gonna break something or hurt myself. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I'm not actually that concerned about anything else. Okay, there we go. I have to kind of bend the shell almost. So, fit that in. You know what? That's good enough. I'll do a little bit. Good enough. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay. Now where was I? Ah, yes. Doing that. Looks good enough. Hey, at least I already did it the first time, so it'll be a lot easier coming this time. Let me just turn on the fan. It is very hot. Feels a lot nicer with that. Oh yeah. Okay. Second screw. Okay. And then I believe, let's take a look while we're at it. Okay, so these three we're going to do from this end here. I'm going to have to use manual technique. Okay, now I'm going to need one more screw for now. That is over here, which locks that in place. Ah, okay, so there's more shell screws on the other side. That makes sense, I guess. So this is one of those two-side shells, okay. Just going to go quickly. Okay, there we go. Other side of the shell. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this, yeah, that's why the model says you need 13 screws, but they only come in denominations of 10 on Maker Supply, which is why they tell you to buy 2 packs. So note, if you are making 10 of these, you only have to buy 13 packs of screws. So interesting how they didn't choose to not come with screws. Because so far this is the only model I see on Maker Roll, or that actually Bamboo Lab has officially listed as one of the items you can make. So I am very surprised that they didn't include screws, although it's probably fair to save cost because some people already have it. But I don't see how much more money that would cost for 22. Adding, 13 screws would be really nice. Okay, there we go. Some of these screws are going to be a bit tight. Let's see, I already see the next bag of screws. So I'm going to power drive it. And which this actually takes a lot of work. So if I were to assemble this, I'd probably get an adapter, or I'd get an upgraded driver because this is a lot of work. Okay. 3 more screws from this bag, and then the rest are extras. If I ever strip a screw or whatever. The one thing I am proud of QIM for this is that all the screws in the build are the exact same, which let's just say with Nerf blasters that I've built before, there have been a lot more painful things because now let's just say some things aren't ideal because you have to use like 10 different types of screws, and it's really hard when they're only about a few millimeters off in length, so you have to kind of gas and caliper measure them. And if you build it wrong, you're going to have to take them apart and then start again, which is why I always have to measure really carefully. Okay, there we go. Trigger still functions, which is surprising. Okay. Ran out of power, so I'm going to have to do manual driving. There we go. And I can do that. Making sure that goes in the way. Actually, yeah, looks like a little piece of. Can I pry that out? I can't. There we go. Now the shop will close properly. There we go. There we go. Now the shelf closed properly. One last screw. And I think we're done for the build. I don't know, but I think we're pretty close. And then I'll upload this video to YouTube. There we go. Let's continue. Yeah. Oh. Oh, wait. Hold up. Oh. I don't think the trigger works anymore. Oh, that's really bad. Wait, hold up. Because right now the switch is... Okay, we're just gonna see if it works. If it works or it doesn't. Okay. Wait. Oh no. So I got it all wrong. And the battery goes. Wait, no? Right, it goes to the back. Yeah, okay. I didn't mess that up because that'd be really, really bad if I did. Okay. Now, can I pull that out? That connector out? Or is it going to be locked down? Connector's locked down. So okay. Is there an extension I could use? Because I remembered this pattern. Is that a splitter? Yeah, I can't use that. Yeah, I guess I'll just have to connect the battery. I don't know when it's fully charged, but at least I want to try it out. So here's what I'm going to do. Actually, let's finish the rest of the build then, before we put it in the battery. Okay. Yeah, so that's our magazine. We're going to test if this actually works, because I'm very curious. There is a water tap conveniently located right behind the camera, actually. So let me go pull that up. Go. It's fully filled, and it looks like there aren't any leaks, at least for now, from my quick inspection. If I can find the cap, put it on, and it will not leak that much. We're good. Let's try it out. So the magazine goes in like that, and then, yeah, I think that's our blaster. Let's give it a try. I think is the battery charged enough yet? Let's find out. I'm going to gently take off the connector. Now that's where it attaches. Okay, we're going to attach the battery into the connector, which is surprisingly far down for no reason at all. Damn it. I'm gonna have to use a pair of tweezers to kind of reposition it. It's on it. There we go. Come on. Just work. There we go. And then, yeah, I think we're good. Let's give it a try. Oh. Okay, so that fires, but the water's not coming out, which means I probably did the magazine wrong, or water's just not flowing. Let me check that. Let me check my work here. Okay, the water's not flowing out of it. Okay, check that, because the seal should be good enough as to where okay, I'm just gonna, okay, and I spilled the water from the magazine. I'll have to go clean that up. But yeah, I'll pause this video for now, and I will update you guys on the results.